Hello everyone, welcome back. I just got my hair cut. If you see a little bit of redness, that's just because I have very sensitive skin, and when I get a haircut, my skin usually gets a little red due to the razor, even after they spray the whole like aftershave thing. So just ignore that. That's why that's there. But in this episode, I wanted to talk about why do I want to do dangerous stuff, right? Now, if you watch my videos, you already know that I like to do. I've skydived before. I want to do bungee jumping. It's on my bucket list. I want to own a motorcycle, which is, pretty universally known as a very dangerous activity. I want to do zip lining when I go on to amusement parks. I want to do the scariest roller coaster, the highest thing, all these dangerous stuff. I don't know why I did air quotes, because it is dangerous, but and rope swinging and all that. It is because of one beautiful thing called adrenaline. It truly is. It truly is a drug. It really is. The feeling is literally nothing like you ever experienced before. Before we actually went skydiving, and skydiving is really what made me want to go down this whole like adrenaline. I want to do all the crazy stuff. We always used to do stuff like, go on scary roller coasters. And the first terrifying thing I ever did was this is an amusement park up in where I live called Darien Lake. And it's basically, there's this one ride where you start from in the Superman position, like a flying position, right? And then you're strapped to two other people. They take you up in the air, and you have this rope. You pull the rope, and then you're way up in the sky, and it drops you, and then catches you. I'll send Noah the video. He could, he'll show you guys what I'm talking about. But that is what led to me wanting to do, all right, you know what? That was really, really fun. That felt amazing. Let's go to the next step. Skydiving. And then after skydiving, you know what? All right, let's go bungee jumping. And now I've came to the conclusion where I also want a motorcycle, which that is in itself pretty dangerous. But besides adrenaline, because it is fun, don't get me wrong, I find it very, very fun. But what it also is I want experiences, right? At the end of the day, we don't know how long we're going to live for. I could drop dead tomorrow. You could. And I want experiences out of my life, right? And I want to do them while I'm young, because you don't know how long you're going to live for. So, if something's a little on the dangerous side, okay. I mean, as long as you make it as safe as possible, right? So for skydiving, for example, I was with an instructor. That instructor has jumped 5,000 times. He told me how many jumps he had. I felt very confident that we were going to be alive. Because, well, this guy is a professional. He knows what he's doing. I could just enjoy the ride. Bungee jumping, for example, we picked the place that's, it's one of the most popular bungee jumping spots in Quebec. So I would say, you know, if it is so popular and there hasn't been any, they literally post videos on their social media of, you know, contestants jumping. It's probably pretty safe then. I'm probably just going to enjoy the ride. As long as you listen to everything they tell you to do, I will be fine. That's my mentality going into it, right? Let's just enjoy the experience. And I want stories. You know, I want life experiences and stories. And what better than to get a good story than from jumping out of an airplane, jumping off a bridge. You know what I mean? Like, crazy stuff. So that's why I do it, you know? I don't know how long I'm going to live for. I want as many experiences as possible, as many stories as possible. So why not? Let's do it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you only live once. The feeling that I had was when I do anything crazy, like go on a roller coaster, or that adrenaline feeling is the only time, like, you really, it's gonna sound bad, but you do truly feel like alive. It's incredible. It really is. And I want to experience that feeling again. You know what I mean? And with motorcycles, yeah, they're known to be very, very dangerous. And I've known people who've died and who've been seriously injured by motorcycles. But, right? One, I will take the proper precautions. I will always wear gear when I ride. I will not be under any sort of substance, weed, alcohol, no. Completely sober. Driving, period, you should be completely sober. But I especially will be during riding a motorcycle, because, you know, that takes, you want to be at your full cognitive state doing that. So make sure, you know, no substances, I'll always wear gear. I really don't plan on driving super fast. And some of you might not believe me, but I really don't like driving at super high speeds, like clocking over 100. When I reach that 100 mark in my car, which is very rare because I don't feel like getting pulled over, so the max I'll go is like 80, 85, and that's only on the like expressway. But when I drive at 100 miles an hour, I don't feel like, it doesn't feel that great. I'm just worried because in my head I'm thinking, damn, we crash, it is screwed. Even in this car, I am screwed. So I just don't even like driving fast. And then plus my car starts wobbling, and it's just, you know, like I am flying by. Literally could crash into a car, over. So I don't like driving super fast. I want a motorcycle due to the cruising side of it. You know, I don't plan to drive it through the city. I plan to drive it through the highways, expressways, back roads, country roads. That's where I want to drive my motorcycle. Where honestly, the chances of me crashing are pretty minimal. Not impossible, obviously, but very less likely than, let's say, a city going out of an intersection. You know what I mean? So I don't see it as very dangerous, so to speak. And I feel like that's the best way to go about it. You know what I mean? Like if you're scared of everything, or you're doing, or if you're not doing something because of, you know, it's dangerous, then you're gonna rob yourself of a lot of opportunities. You know what I mean? I mean, with that logic, the second you step outside, it is dangerous. Just being outside in general is dangerous. Being inside your house is dangerous. Everywhere has some sort of level of danger that I feel like that shouldn't be the right way to live life. Obviously, if you know, I would encourage people to face their fears, you know? Because don't get me wrong, I was terrified to jump out of an airplane. That plane ride going up was hell. I was freaking out internally. Not externally, but internally. I was freaking out. And then I did it, and it was awesome. I wasn't even scared anymore. It was awesome. So, I feel like anybody, you should face your fears, right? If it's something that you want to experience, obviously if you're completely uninterested, then there's no point. But for anything sort of dangerousy, or if you want to drive, motorcycle or anything, ride a super scary roller coaster, I don't think you should let fear then stop you, right? If you want to do it, do it. If it's scary, it's scary. But face your fear. You want to do it, right? So go do it. I wanted to skydive. I was scared, but I still wanted to do it. I don't want to rob my experience due to fear. And I'm very happy I didn't, because that was life. That was literally a once in a lifetime experience. Well, about to be, twice in a lifetime experience. But that was an experience I could never recreate, that feeling that I had. Even going a second time, I won't be able to recreate it. Second time, though, is going to be a lot more excitement. No fear. But yeah, that's all. Recap. Don't rob yourselves of experiences. At the end of the day, life is short. You want to enjoy life, right? You want to make sure you have as many experiences under your belt as possible, because let's say we do make it when we're old, which hopefully we all do. If we do make it when we're old, and you look back on your life, I would hate for you to look back on your life and be like, damn, should have done this, should have done that. Why did I do this? I only did this because out of fear, but now I'm getting old and I regret it. I try to live in life with no regrets. It is a little difficult, because there's stuff that I do. There's one thing that I do regret, but I try not to let it bother me that much. But overall, I feel like I'm not going to get into the whole regret conversation, because I already did a car talk on regret, which Noah, if you want, you can put in this description. But I have that video on the channel. You go look at that. I deep dive into one of my views on regret. But I feel like get as many experiences as possible, even if it's dangerous. Life is dangerous at the end of the day. Anytime you step in your car is dangerous. I feel that shouldn't be the reason to rob your... It being dangerous shouldn't be the reason to rob your experience, or want to experience whatever it is you want. It doesn't even have to be skydiving or riding a motorcycle or bungee jumping. It could be something else, right? Besides drugs. Like hardcore, don't do that. We don't need those experiences. I say that, but I've only done shrooms and weed, but I'll never do like cocaine or anything like that, nor anybody should. I've known people who've done it. We're not gonna get into that conversation. Don't do it, because that could fuck up your life. But if you want experiences, get them. That is what I'll end this off. Don't let fear stop you. Anyways, have a good one, guys. See ya.